Yun! Good morning mga kameta. Kamusta kayo dyan? Ayan, nakana tayo, galing tayo sa graduation, talk kanina sa PUP, sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Dala ko pa yung sablay ko. Of course, my congratulations again to graduates of Psychology and History dyan sa Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And also, thank you so much again dun sa PUP folks for the invitation para sa atin para magsalita doon as a graduation speaker. It's always a pleasure for me when nagsishare tayo ng ating mga views and ideas with the younger generations and the new students. So again, congratulations po doon sa mga graduates ng PUP at maraming salamat doon sa inyong pag-imbita para magbigay ng graduation address, no? Doon sa mga students na kakakuha ng kanilang bachelors in psychology and history. So thank you again. Maraming salamat. Really feels at home pag nandun tayo sa PUP. So nakauwi tayo just before lunch. So sabi ko, gawa tayo ng isang mabilisan na meta because marami tayong napag-usapan this week mga kameta, but I didn't miss updating on it, but I missed discussing it, no? At ito yung pag-resign ni Vico Sotto, Mayor Vico Sotto, dun sa Action Democratico Party. I think this was one of the major events of the week. But for some reason, ang dami pang ibang nangyari. I was not able to focus on it as much as I wanted to. Pero sa aking palagay, napakamahalaga itong nangyari. So as you may know, si Mayor Vico Sotto, he joined the Action Democratico Party the other year, no, ahead of the elections. And Action Democratico essentially he was part of the Action Democratico, for quite some time. My apologies for that. It was Isko Moreno, Mayor Isko Moreno, former Isko Moreno, na sumali doon sa Action Democratico. So let me stand corrected on that, corrected myself. But now, what we have is a situation whereby mukhang si Mayor Vico Sotto is not very happy about the direction of Action Democratica. As you may know, the background of Action Democratico, Raul Roco, it has been a very progressive party. It has been a platform for a kind of an alternative politics to the usual liberal, nationalista, and other kinds of mainstream political parties. So it has a very progressive background, no? And throughout time, I had the privilege of meeting many folks who have been part of Action Democratico. And of course, also Mayor Isko Moreno, we interviewed him among others. Si Vico Sotto, for some reason, hindi ko pa nakausap. I haven't had the chance to interview him. I look forward to talking to him and discussing about his vision and what's happening with him as far as his politics is concerned. Now, how should I put it? Okay, first, let me first discuss this kasi ito nga parang medyo nakalusot ito dun. It fell through the cracks, no? So let's first of all, mga kameta, pag-usapan natin ano ba nangyari to begin with, no? So nag-resign si Vico Sotto from Action Democratico, Pasig City Mayor Vico Sotto. Nag-resign siya. The letter was actually circulated online. At ito po yung sinabi niya. Actually, wait lang. June 30 pa pala na-submit yan, no? Base sa reports. So, June 30 pa lang na-submit itong kanyang resignation after the elections, no? At ito yung base dun sa letter addressed to Party Chairperson Ernesto Ramel. Of course, si Sir Ernesto, na-meet din natin yan during our meetings with Isko Moreno. Ito yung sinabi ni Vico Sotto, no? Unfortunately, recent events have made it apparent that the party is now headed towards a different direction. To me, this defeats the purpose of being a member of a political party. No, so actually over Twitter, na post ni Vico Sotto, this is just the other day, November 2, 2022. Since I resigned from Action Democratico last July, I never made any announcement. But since media has now reported it, here is my resignation letter. I respected party decision while I was a member, but for reasons stated in the letter, I decided to resign after the elections. No, so hindi naman siya yung KJ, naghintay siya after elections, but hindi siya nagbigay ng announcement before. Ngayon lang siya nagbigay ng announcement kasi mukhang na-leak yung letter. Now we don't know how that happened. and we don't know what are the circumstances around that. So ito po yung letter, i-post natin dito para makita nyo yung letra ni Mayor Vico Sotto, no? Yung letter ni Vico Sotto, yung kanyang resignation. Basahin natin. Kailangan ko yata yung eyeglasses ko. So ito I hope this letter finds you well. Parang text yun Kamusta ka pare? I joined Action Democratic in 2018. Again, kaya sabi ko, it has been quite for some years. No? Si Isko Moreno yung sumali sa Action Democratic right before the previous elections. No? I joined Action Democratic in 2018 in search of a reform-oriented political party that stood for principled politics and inclusive governance. I became mayor in 2019 proudly under the banner of Action Democratico. Unfortunately, recent events, now hindi niya na-clarify what was he referring to recent events. Siguro, ito yata yung baka he was referring to yung press conference. Alam niya, yung si GMRC at si Recent events have made it apparent that the party is now headed towards a different direction. I believe that we are no longer a group of individuals with similar goals and ideals. To me, this defeats the purpose of being a member of a political party. For this reason, I have decided to resign as a member of Action Democratico, effective immediately. To be clear, this is not about any particular person or candidate. Okay, so it's not particular about a certain person or candidate. I maintain the highest respect for the party's leadership and members. It is in part because of this respect that I decided to delay my resignation until after the 2022 national and local elections. No? I will always be grateful for the opportunity to share in Action Democratico's advocacy. I wish the party and its members continued success. So this is by Mayor Vico Sotto, addressed to the party chairperson, si Ernesto Ramel. No? So yun po, andyan yung letter. Isisend ko rin sa inyo. Now, of course, there's a bigger context to this. Balikan natin yan, mga kameta. Balikan natin yan. Now, what really Vico Sotto is interested in, no, is a new kind of politics. A new kind of politics na alam ko marami sa ating mga kameta are very much interested in, no? And it's a politics that goes beyond personality-based electoral contestation, no? Sabi ni Mayor Vico Sotto, for now he is independent. So he has declined membership in other political parties after his resignation from Action Democratico. So apparently, he had an interview with ABS-CBN on Thursday. At ito po yung sinabi niya. Sa ngayon, independent ako. Meron nag-aalok pero hindi ako interesado. Ayan. Ano daw reason? I am an advocate of stronger political parties and a stronger political party system in the Philippines. I will not join a political party just for the sake of my political gain. But the only reason I might join a political party is if I really believe in the party principles, the party's ideology, and how the party is being run. Ayon sa kanya, hindi naman sikreto, it's no secret that the political system sa Pilipinas ay mahina, kaya he called on the lawmakers to file party reform bills. Sabi ni Mayor Vico Sotto, yun talaga ang kailangan natin sa Pilipinas. We need stronger political parties para hindi na maging personality-based na ang politika sa Pilipinas. So, yun nga So, yun yung basis niya. So, it looks like perhaps he had concerns, no? He had concerns na maybe Action Democratic was more moving towards a more mainstream kind of politics, and that's why hindi siya natuwa. Ayon naman kay Action Democratic Chairperson Ernest Ramel, sadden daw siya, nalulungkot siya dun sa resignation ni Vico Sotto. Pero sabi na it's not closing the door pagdating sa, him potentially returning to the office, to the party down the road. But let's see. Mukhang talagang whew. Yay. Okay, ito magre-real talk na tayo, guys. Magre-real talk na tayo. Magre-real talk na tayo ukol dito sa issue na yan. Wait lang Ganito kasi mga kameta. Ito. Mag-real talk tayo dito Real talk tayo. Ganito. First of all, for me, lubos na natutuwa ako na meron tayong mga politiko katulad ni Vico Sotto around, no? And this is in a totally non-partisan way. No, I just like the fact that, my goodness, at least there's some politicos there who are willing to strike a more independent path. And hindi lang yung tipo, ayoko magpartido dahil naniniwala lang ako sa sarili ko, dahil ako lang ang sagot sa lahat ng problema ng bansa, dahil pag ako hindi nyo binoto, ang Pilipinas ay maging narco state. Hindi yung gano'n, hindi yung tatay style. Ito yung isang tao na sinasabi na, I will be independent unless I find a political party that goes beyond personality-based politics. Right? So, hindi yung tipong, ayoko ng political parties kasi ako mismo sapat na. Kaya ko na yan. No? Hindi ganun eh. Hindi authoritarian eh. Hindi populist eh. Hindi tatay style eh. Ang sinasabi niya, gusto niya maging parte ng isang party, but the political party has to share his goal of creating real political parties. Because unless wala tayong real political parties, trapo-trapo politics lang tayo. And damay-damay na yan. Walang mangyari sa atin. So that's very interesting. And this is not coming from a mayor who is like whatever. This is not from someone who just has ideas. This is from one of the most popular political figures in the country and one of the most popular in the region. You know, I know friends from abroad who are fans of Vico Sotto. No, not only dito sa Pilipinas. No, not only because he's a charismatic leader, but also because of the progressive platforms that he has, and also his story. Not to mention yung mga anti-corruption initiatives niya, not to mention his sincerity in making sure na pina-prioritize yung welfare, yung welfare ng mga residents ng Pasig, you know, hindi lang yung mga papogi, cosmetic stuff. We also saw that Vico Sotto tried to assert the interest of his constituency even when it risked the ire of the president. This was the case when medyo mahidwaan with President Duterte. President Duterte openly challenged and threatened even Vico Sotto, and Vico Sotto tried to come up with more humane and citizen-friendly measures during the lockdowns, COVID-19 lockdowns. No, so batang-bata pa siya. He's even younger than me, few years younger than me. So this is a guy in his early 30s. He's still new in politics, but he's not totally new, and he's not totally naive. He's not naive, right? Hindi lang siya salita. Hindi lang siya puro salita. This is a guy who has been counselor for quite some time and now mayor, was seen the rough side of politics. He had a very difficult race the first time he ran for mayor. Of course, his re-election map was much easier because of his popularity and also because of the many good things he did in his city. But yun nga parang it's so heartening to know that there's still people out there who put their ideals behind above political expediency, right? And these are not just nobodies. We're talking about one of the most charismatic and you know, a potential presidential ball down the road kind of person, right? Now, but let's push the argument further, because interestingly, Vico Sotto talks about the need for going beyond personality-based politics. Now, what I notice is maraming naniniwala kay Vico Sotto in a way na para sa kanila, si Vico Sotto ang maging solusyon sa lahat ng problema natin, right? Or he will be the savior down the road. But that's precisely what Vico Sotto is questioning. Do you get what I'm saying? So, the interesting thing is, Vico Sotto is saying, hey, I want to be independent for now until I find a real political party that I can support, and I want to push for real party-based systems sa Philippines kung saan plataforma, polisiya, convictions, ideology, platforms, yan ang basihan para mag-elect ng officials. At the same time, yung mga supporters niya, at marami siyang supporters across the political spectrum, they look at him as the kind of a secular savior, right? But that goes against the very values that Vico Sotto stands for, right? Which is non-personality-based politics. So how do you reconcile that? My advice goes to both sides, right? To the supporters of Vico Sotto, my advice is like this. Again, learn something from history. Huwag umasa sa isang tao lang para maging savior natin. What we need are strong institutions. Kasama dyan yung political parties. Kasama dyan yung mga institusyon ng Estado. Kasama dyan yung educational institutions. That's why we need a movement. No? That's why we need a movement for reform. Kung ano man ang kulay niya, wala akong pakialam. Ang kailangan dito ay isang reforma. No? Talagang komprehensibong reforma ng iba't ibang institutions natin. From the educational institutions to the party system to the state institutions, para talaga magkaroon tayo ng mature, inclusive democracy, no? So, by overly focusing on just one person, Vico Sotto, we may miss other very promising, not only personalities, but also movements across the country, right? And by just zeroing on one person, we might miss the bigger picture, right? You might miss the forest by too much focusing on the tree, right? Now Vico Sotto may be the most prominent tree, but don't forget the bigger forest. And the bigger forest here is what? Are all of these civil society movements, all of these star LGU leaders, all of these young leaders, all of these promising and sincere people all across the country who may not have the charisma or the name recognition of Vico Sotto, but their heart is in the right place, their mind has the necessary tools and skills, and if given the opportunity and support, they can make a big difference in their own specific constituencies, no? And going to Vico Sotto, my advice for him is maybe he should how should I put it this way? Well, he should say what I'm saying, right? Which is, wag lang kayo umasa sa akin. But more than that, it would be nice to see Vico Sotto having more collaboration with other good progressive mayors all across the country. I think Mayor Magalong in Baguio would be great. I think the mayor in Iloilo would be great. I'm sure there are many other mayors. Hindi lang yung mga mayor na maganda lang na inaano sa kanya para lang, you know what I'm saying? Hindi yung gano'n na. I'm talking about good mayors, good LGU leaders, progressive leaders all working together. Without, and this is not part of opposition agenda. No, this is just a movement for good governance. What we need is a national movement for good governance and a movement that calls for comprehensive reform of our political system. Even if siguro kasama dyan yung discussion ng constitutional change. But the point is, even sa ilalim ng sarili natin sa Ligang Batas ngayon, there is room for going against political dynasties, for pushing for party reforms, for creating more inclusive, accountable, and progressive institutions in the state. No? So, again, my advice to supporters of Vico Sotto is that wag lang kayo umasa sa isang tao. I know that you want to think about someone concrete to have hope about the future of the country, but you might miss the forest by just focusing too much on one tree. Look also for and support also other movements, other mayors, other LGU leaders, other emerging leaders, right? In different realms. Na lahat pwede tumulong together to the country. And at the same advice to Vico is, go out, meet these other people, work with them, have joint events with them, joint conference. Not in a politicking way, but part of a bigger effort to promote good governance sa Pilipinas. Yun lang naman yung sinasabi ko, guys. So there's still a lot that we can achieve in this country. So for me, I just hope Vico Sotto is just the tip of the iceberg, and in a good way, no. I hope and I kind of know that he's just one of many good LGU leaders out there, right? And I hope these good LGU leaders work together more and create alternative parties that are actually more impactful, more progressive, and have a chance to actually contest the highest offices down the road. But I hope they don't come together just to become the next president or vice president or senator. No, I hope they come together also because we really need, guys, charismatic, conviction-based leadership if our democracy were to stand a chance or to cope with the challenges we have in terms of delivering basic public services, but also in terms of plugging in the gaps, no? In terms of pushing us towards a more mature democracy. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. So, this is not a vlog whereby I say, ang galing ni Vico Sotto, kaya niya lahat yan. No, that's my point. I agree with Vico Sotto. We have to go beyond personality-based politics. But you also need personalities who can inspire us and create a movement towards investment in real political parties, platform-based politics, and strengthening of state institutions. Do you get what I'm saying? So you need strong leaders who believe in strong institutions. Because weak leaders are not the right people to push for strong institutions. But people who are strong men or want to be strong men, they're also not the right people to push for a strong state, strong republic, and strong institutions. So this is where, again, a real talk to us. So I'll be very honest. Like, I've been so disappointed with many people over the past few years. I'm not gonna name names locally, but I'll drop some names internationally, like Macron, right? So when Macron ran back in the day, like, wow, we were like so hopeful, finally someone like that, and then like super trapo yung style in Macron. Justin Trudeau is not as bad, but also not as impressive as we thought he would be. I mean, I can name drop, right? Right and left, many people that I look up to, not only in politics, but also in different realms, whether it's mountain climbing, whether it's in sports, whether it's a general in Afghanistan, young general in Afghanistan resisting Taliban. Next thing you know, they're all having consultancy firm in London or having an elite club for Everest climbers, billionaires club. Parang ano ba yan? Kayo na nga inasaan namin ng next generation. Batang-bata pa, naging trapo na, di ba? Kaya nga, a lot of us are hurt, a lot of us are frustrated, a lot of us are looking for people to inspire us. So I'm very glad and heartened to see there are people like Vico Sotto out there. And I hope he continues to stick to his principles, to his convictions. And I hope, and I kind of know, that he's just part of a bigger picture. He's just one tree in a bigger forest. And that bigger forest is a movement for comprehensive reform in the Philippines. Kailangan lang ng konting leadership to bring this movement together. So, again, I'm not here to say pro-Lenny or anti-Lenny or pro-BBM or anti-BBM. It goes well beyond that. And I know Vico knows, and Vico knows also where I stand on things. I have seen him, how he responds to some of my tweets, among others. Yes, he's a follower of my on Twitter also, as far as I know. I know what Vico is trying to do is just create a new kind of politics that goes beyond all of this toxicity, beyond elitism, beyond populism, beyond authoritarianism, beyond pa-unity, beyond fake news, beyond self-righteousness, beyond padisente. Ayaw rin niya lahat ng mga yun eh. And that brought Vico a lot of anger from different quarters, right? Yung one side thought he's one of them. He made it clear, I don't want to be part of your drama. The other side wanted to bring him, he said, I don't want to be part of a corrupt system. He was part of something he felt is not going the right direction. He came out and he's trying to strike his own course. But people like Vico Sotto also need support. And not only support for them as a person, but support for their convictions and ideals. Alright? Yun po yung kailangan natin. And that's how you create hope about the future of the Philippines. And that's how you galvanize support. Vico Sotto is not perfect. He's still learning the craft. He's still navigating a very treacherous and difficult field. So the best way to encourage people like Vico Sotto to stick to their guns and to continue their advocacy for good governance is to show support for them and people like them, and also to show support for their efforts to create systemic change, not just making him the next president or the next senator, etc. Right? We're not gonna solve it. You put one nice apple among 10 rotten oranges or 10 rotten apples, wala rin eh, right? You really need to get out most of those rotten oranges and put 5-6 nice apples, right? So, wag tayo umasa lang kay Vico Sotto para ayusin lahat. But I think Vico Sotto can be part of a bigger movement towards change. So, maraming salamat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, and thank you dun sa lahat na nagbigay ng comments, stars, and suggestions. And ang dami pa natin pwedeng sabihin. Let's see if my time mamaya pwede ko kayong balikan, mag-wrap up pa tayo, mag-recap tayo ng mga discussion natin throughout the past week, including itong discussion about Vico Sotto. So for now, let me say thank you so much, and my love and support. Wala na, windang na ang aga ko gumising eh. Let me just say, there's a flicker of hope, so let's not waste it. Let's not waste it. There's still good people out there, good politicos out there, good statesmen out there. And Vico Sotto is just one of them. And definitely Vico Sotto can use the political capital and charisma he has to push for a broader movement in the country, right? And again, this goes way beyond the Dilaw versus Pink versus whatever versus Pula, whatever. This is something else. We need good governance beyond politics, as Mayor Magalang put it. That's what we need. And I want to see more cooperation among these good mayors, LGU leaders. I hope they'll all work together. And I hope we'll support these people. We'll give them more reason and encouragement for them to continue what they're doing. Yun lang naman eh. Alright? Maraming salamat guys. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Thank you guys.